Down at Rent Right, and welcome to our first Rent Right Radio Hour. We are here with the owner of Rent Right, Mr. Bill Adams. How are you?
Doing great, Tyler. How are you this afternoon?
I'm good. So, kind of the purpose of what we're doing is just to talk about Rent Right, what we do, the founding days, and how it all started. So, can you go over some of that?
Long time ago, 1978 was the year. Parents started it. Jerry and Pat Adams started it and found a need in our county for top equipment that was in need for different projects around the county, and so that's where the vision started. And in '78.
Right. So, what were some of the first items?
First items, probably scaffolding for maybe coming up beside a house or doing painting interior walls, concrete equipment, water pumps, mainly items that you could put in the back of your truck, small tool days in those early days. It was pretty good, you know.
Yeah. The scaffolding still does pretty well. As we've had a good week, with scaffolding going out. It's very helpful. So there was a need.
Big need, yeah. And the need spun off of maybe a one or two man contractor crew that we realized there was a need for them to have access to good equipment to be able to complete these small jobs for their customers, and at a fair price. So we tapped into that and started making this type tool rental available, and it's worked for years.
Right. I mean, that's still a big need now. Like all the jobs that's going on, Tennessee and Lawrence County and Giles and everybody around is still growing. People are building houses, people are moving in from all over the place, and there's a lot of projects that need to get done. And you all don't always want to buy the piece of equipment.
True.
If you're only going to need it for a few days.
Yeah, you have access to expensive equipment. Let's talk about floor sanding equipment just for a moment.
Yeah.
A lot of flipping houses or house remodels going on now, and for years we've rented floor sanders, different types of floor sanders that a small two-man crew could come in, rent a piece of equipment that might cost a few $1,000, rent it for a few dollars a day, buy sandpaper, complete the job, collect on labor, and it's a fantastic way to provide service for the small contractor's customer.
Yep.
And for us to make a living also. Good service.
Yeah, absolutely. And at Rent Right, we've got a couple of different types of sanders. We've got a drum sander, which is going to be a little more aggressive. So if you're putting in a new floor, you've got some ridges you've got to take out, it's going to be very helpful. And then we've got our square floor sander, and that just oscillates basically and goes to crates.
Yeah.
And smooths everything down. We've got all the different types of paper, pads, sanding screens, and everything that you might need on your own project or working for somebody else.
That's right. A lot of the people in this area, they buy Amish cut sawmill flooring, hardwood flooring, and instead of putting down the modern maybe tile or inlay they call it, we see a lot of folks coming in that'll refurbish those old floors on the old floors. The Amish floors, most of that is like a number 2,
Right.
and it requires a little more sanding. But what a beautiful floor you have after you get those laid. We rent the floor nailers also.
Yeah.
It's something that we've had for years. That you can buy the nails from us or the tacks, and also rent the guns. So those are specialty items, we call them.
Right.
And highly specialized, but you've got access to those and the sanders at a fair price.
Absolutely. And we've also got concrete equipment.
A lot of concrete equipment. Name some of those that we have.
So we've got jackhammers, Breakers, we've got a 20-pound, 35-pound, and 70-pound breakers to take up concrete or rock or anything like that. We also have a concrete mini mixer that will take two 80-pound bags of concrete. It's electric. It's on a stand. You just plug it in and let it mix. And we carry hand tools, rakes, bull floats, Fresnos, all the kind of things that you could use to put down some concrete.
Yeah.
Get your hands a little dirty.
That's right. Concrete,
Right.
gas-powered concrete troweling equipment.
Yes.
We've got those, and we do a good job servicing those.
Yeah.
And keeping good fresh blades on them, make sure they run well. And when you're in the middle of a concrete job, you don't need to have issues.
No.
So we'll be glad to help you out with those.
Yeah, you got mud on the ground. People got to move.
You got to move. Sure do.
So let's move on to Hustler turf mowers.
Yes, sir.
When did you bring those on?
In the early 2000s, probably 2003, 2004, somewhere along in there. And we brought those on. It's an interesting story about the Hustler mowers. They originated in the 60s as interstate mowers. You see the big yellow mowers before they started using tractors, and the big batwing mowers. Those were Hustlers in those days. So the company out in Kansas started that particular company, and then they had a cousin come along and began to put together the idea of the zero-turn mower. And it was very simple. Hydraulics were not good in those days. So it was very simple how they put those together. They used a lot of chains and sprockets. And then when the 2000s came along, we were in place to be able to take on another line of power equipment. And so we had a salesman walk through one day and introduced what he was selling. And Dad, Jerry Adams, he said, "Looks like a great idea. Let's go for it." So that's simplicity of simply how it happened. It was just off the cuff deal, and we've sold thousands of mowers through the years, and fantastic customers. It's a fabulous way to keep yards manicured, and very simple. One of the most simple units on the market today.
Right. I mean, the more stuff you've got on a mower, the more you've got to break.
Yes.
That's just all there is to it.
Yep.
And I mean, we're in the business of service as well. So not only do we offer the product new, and we also have used mowers as well to sell, but it's important to service your mowers
Sure
to keep
is.
them running
Yeah.
to the most effective way they can run. Can
It
you
is.
go a bit into that?
Yeah, we things have changed, especially during ethanol days. About 2011, just when the ethanol kicked in, and a lot of your small engines, Kawasaki, Kohler, Honda, were having trouble with fuel in those days when they went to more of a corn syrup, I call it, ethanol type fuel. So after the change, engines began to have a need to burn that ethanol off. They had to burn hotter. So with some manipulation inside of those engines, the oil had to change. The heat that the oil temperatures ran at had to increase. So we're on top of that. We'd be glad to show you how to the type of oil to use, a synthetic, more of a man-made type oil nowadays. We recommend the Kawasaki and Kohler oil.
Yep.
And also the service kits. We've got those. Can walk people through those products that's needed. So sometimes engines need to be serviced more than 1 year.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
depends on the use and the environment that they're being used in. And Hustler offers that. Hustler offers some fantastic equipment with deck thickness, tip speed, those kind of things for service. We'd be more than happy to show you how to service your mower. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
From putting on blades and just changing the oil, it's really simple. They've done a really good job of making it to where anybody can do it.
Yeah.
In today's modern world, your car breaks down, you're really not working on it.
Yeah.
You're taking it to somebody else.
Yeah.
But they've done a really good job with keeping it simple to to make things easier for the everyday buyer.
Right. Hustler, the Hustler Zero products is focused around simplicity.
Yeah.
And they keep it extremely simple. They use belts and pulleys more than they use chains and gears. It's very easy. We use a pump product called Hydro Gear
Yes.
underneath, and we carry service parts for those, and also the oil to be able to change the oil in those products, the oil and the filters. Again, for as what we can offer and teach our customers, it's top shelf stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so some of the lines that we have is we've got a residential line that we carry. It's the Raptor. And you start with your Raptor X, which is kind of your entry level. And then you've got your Raptor XD and then your XDX. And your Raptor X is rated for around 3 acres. Once you get above that, they're rated for 5 acres, which is more than most typical residential people do anyway. So they're really overbuilt,
Yeah.
as it were, for the type of cutting that most people do.
Yeah.
Generally, on most of the residential engines, you want to change your oil about every 50 hours.
About 50. Yeah.
And that's usually that's like the 5,000 mile marker
is,
on your
yeah.
car to make sure that you're keeping everything up to date, everything ready so that you can get the best life out of your engine. Because if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. You know, that sounds kind of, it's what you always say, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, that's the way everything is in life.
Sure.
If you just wait till it breaks and then I'll try and fix it.
Yeah.
Got to be proactive.
Be proactive. One thing we've learned watched over the years in renting equipment and also selling the top quality Hustler equipment is the quality of kept yards in our county. And the yards are so neatly groomed nowadays. People that can spend just a little bit of effort and they don't mind picking up the trash in the ditch and those kind of things. But yards look fantastic compared to what they did 30 years ago. So hats off to our county, and we need to continue to do a better job picking up your trash and mowing those yards. But we'd love to help you with that, with great equipment and being able to show you what's available. You're exactly right on the entry level with the Raptor. We have 3 different models, I believe.
Yeah.
X, XDX, and X.
It's X and then the XD and then the XDX.
Yeah, fantastic, and it's a step up. It's almost like good, better, best.
Yeah.
In the residential lines, prices are fair. Heavy decks, we use a welded deck.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand the difference in welded deck and stamped, but if you want to stop by, we'd be glad to show you that and the quality of the metal, and that are very, very good. Heavy blades, heavy pumps, fantastic belts and service, and we do a good job. We sure do.
Yeah, and we've got a really good service department, right? Keith, our mechanic, he does a really good job taking care of those things that you don't want to fool with, right? When it comes to fixing and servicing those mowers and engines, and we do really good warranty work, right?
Really
we
good
do
work.
directly with Hustler, so if your mower is under warranty, you bring it in, we take care of all the hassle, we deal with them directly, and then get you your mower back as quick as we can so that you're not down during cutting season.
Yeah, we have a lot of sales or like maintenance bulletins that come our way.
Yeah.
And we monitor those every week and read up on those service bulletins and warranty bulletins that come out. So we're your one-stop shop for that. Along with we've got some rentals too that we do, aerator rentals.
Yeah.
For yards.
Yep.
It's really cool stuff, and people can use aerators to. You're actually pulling a hole. You're pulling a plug out of your yard for fertilizer and seed. Now you talk to Wendell down at the Ag Extension Agent's office, and they're going to tell you that aeration is as important as fertilizer. Okay, and we can rent those pieces of equipment to you for a few dollars for half a day or a full day, and keep your yard looking great, especially those bare spots that you can't get anything to grow. You might want to consider an aerator and see if we can get those yards those spots looking really good.
Yeah, get it all nice and green. We've also got bed edgers. So if you're looking to do some new flower beds and all those kind of things, the spring is going to get here in a few months. I know people are tired of the cold and snow and ready for the warmth, but it'll be here, and then we'll be under the depression of heat, right? It'll get real hot. But we've got a lot of lawn and garden equipment that we have for rent, so that you can take care of those home projects and get your yard looking really nice.
We have a really good website too. Something that you can go to and check it out. rentrightequipment.com. It's been redesigned maybe a year ago, and I think we're updating some pictures as we speak.
Yes.
And we're going to have some how-to videos and YouTubes on there. That's coming soon, that I understand. So a lot of good equipment. Trenchers. Trenchers just, they seem to go every day. And people putting in water lines, or back during the freeze, have broken water lines, and need to do some replacement. So they're all hydraulic, basically the same hydrogear pumps and engines that we were talking about on the Hustler mowers, but trailers are included with those too.
Yes.
And really nice equipment, close to new equipment, that's going to be trouble-free for you.
Absolutely. So what are some of the new equipment that we brought on that you're kind of excited about?
I'm really excited about this new straw blower line that we have, and it's a new design. It's something we've had straw blowers through the years, but it's a trailer mounted unit, very easy to use. You've got a blower chute that's easy to swing back and forth. A gas powered engine. The bales can sit right on the trailer with you and load it. And you say, well, what do you use a straw blower for? That's your overseed. That's your cover for when you are putting in your new yard.
Yep.
And you've already prepped your dirt. You've put your seed down. Now you need something to hold that moisture down on your yard. You can rent those, just like the pros use them. You can use them individually. You might be putting in a 2-acre yard, and all you're going to need it is maybe a half a day. And you can rent that for a few dollars and hook it right to your pickup truck.
And it will save your back, because I have done it working when I was in construction. We worked on some really steep hills, and we're out there strowing it by hand and putting out seed, and that it makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah, straw blower's sweet. I would highly recommend that. I'm very excited about the new stump grinder line that we have called Barretto.
Yep.
It's hydraulic swing back and forth. It's on rubber tracks, which is really, really good. Instead of a wheel and tire, it's on rubber tracks. You're going to have more ground grip than you will with tires, and also you're going to have less turf damage as far as moving around. So fantastic unit. Again, it's going to be trouble free. Mounted on a trailer, or sitting on a trailer you can back up to, and we'll rent it to you with the trailer.
Yep.
Very, very good piece of equipment.
Absolutely. I mean, we tried it out there at the Northside Animal Hospital.
Yes, sir.
Right, and we took out this massive stump.
Yep.
And it didn't take, 30, 45 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
Once you get in the swing of it, because there is a little bit of a learning curve, as there is with anything. If you're running something you've never ran before, it might be a little confusing at first, but once you get the swing of it, you can really take out a stump.
Yep.
And it turns it straight into powder. It's not big chips that you're going to have to deal with. It's very powdery and really easy to move on with.
Yeah. I would recommend people calling the store, and most of the time you're going to be speaking with Tyler, who we're talking to here, or Cynthia, and ask about the rates on those items. Check our website first, rentrightequipment.com. Give us a call or a click. You can actually set up a reservation online.
Yeah.
Request equipment, and we make it really easy for you to be able to rent. So we've got some weekend rental deals. You can pick it up on Friday, drop it back off on Monday morning for some special rates. We offer week rates, on occasion monthly rates. So we try to make it extremely easy, and located right here in Lawrenceburg on Buffalo Road, 721 Buffalo Road, for 45 years.
That's quite a legacy.
It's a long time, buddy.
That is a long time. I'm 24-year-old, so
That's right.
You got a few years.
That's right. We
Yeah.
still have some of our original customers. I can remember some of the original customers, our very first customers, and one or two are still living. And if you want to know who they are, you can call me at the store and we can match notes. But they might not want me to mention their name on the radio.
Yeah. Another piece of equipment I really like is our new Haul It. It's a
Fantastic.
55-foot towable lift.
Yeah.
And it turns 360-degree radius. If you want to know what this equipment looks like, again, we're working on our website to have those pictures. When you go to it, you can literally just click on it and pull it all up, but also our Facebook page. Rent Right on Facebook. We've got videos, tutorials, post every week at least, if not every day, to give you more information about what we're doing, what it's like at the store, and all of the different pieces of equipment that we rent.
Yeah. That Haul It lift, 55 feet, the way I understand it, it'll go up 30 and out 20, or that combination. Is that right?
Yes, it will. If I'm not mistaken, it'll go up to around that 50.
Yeah.
But it's got an outreach of about 30.
Right. A lot of guys are using it on for limb trimming off
Yep.
of roofs, or maybe working on electrical up high, or maybe shingle repair or guttering. Tows really well behind a half-ton pickup truck. It's a ball hitch. I think it's a 2 5/16 ball hitch.
That one's a 2-inch.
2-inch.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we've also got the 34-foot
Yep.
lift that people are doing the same things with.
Right.
The Haul It is electric. It's all battery powered,
Right.
which is really nice. But it's also got a place where you can put a generator. If you
Right.
need to keep going in some of those tight places, or you're not really have a lot of access to power, that's not a problem with it. So,
That's good. You've also got your indoor lifts or hard surface lifts.
yep, good old scissor lifts.
Scissor lifts. Yeah.
Yep, they're 19 foot, go up 19 feet high.
Yeah.
They're also all electric. They work really well. I use them to change the sign. Rent Right, we've got that stick, you go on the old, I didn't like that thing too much, so I'll pull a scissor lift around and
Yeah.
take my time, and there might be a spelling error every now and then, but I get brought back in with that.
Your scissors mainly are used. They're used on hard surface.
Yes.
Concrete, asphalt.
Yep.
They're mainly used for indoor use, for electrical or drywall or painting inside of a structure. So, excellent piece of equipment. And you also have a outlet up there that you can hook up power tools,
Yes.
or charge your cordless equipment. So, very good piece of equipment. Again, it comes with a trailer, also.
Yeah.
Or we can deliver. We deliver everything. So if needed, we offer that service. So.
Absolutely. And anytime that piece of rental equipment is brought back in, we make sure to go over a bunch of different checks. Check the oil, hydraulics. If it's the trenchers, make sure that chain is tight every single time it comes back in, so that we know whenever we send it back out that it is ready to be worked. Because that's a big thing in what we do is the equipment gets worked.
It does.
And
Yeah.
so that's one thing when we look at, so what do we look at when we're buying new rental equipment?
Well, first of all, I call it, is it rentable? And meaning, can it be towed? Can it be lifted into the back of a pickup truck? The function of it, is it going to be a easy piece of equipment to be able to teach our customer how to use that piece of equipment? We look at those things. We've had some in the past that were just impossible to learn quickly, and I call it a non-rentable item. So we look at the functions of the equipment. We look at the buttons and the switches and how heavy it is and those kind of things. Does it work?
Right.
And we spent a lot of time researching that type of equipment, and also asking questions. What is it that our customers want, and what do they need? So is it fit into their price budget?
Right.
We use we have one of our main customers is a small contractor. What is his customer asking for?
Right.
So we ask those questions and we try to provide that equipment that our customer would need, what they're asking for. Yeah, great question.
Yeah. And a big thing we look at in part of our research is also the brand who makes it. Is it tough? Is it commercial duty? Will it stand up to the test of time and the workload that's going to be expected of it? Because I don't want junk.
No.
Right? You can go somewhere else for that.
Yeah.
Right? And so we spend a lot of time. That's one thing we're really excited about Barretto. Right? They're from out west.
Yeah.
Not a super old company. I think they started in like the 80s.
Right.
And it actually started in a rental equipment store.
Yeah.
Where he started working with hydraulics and wanted a tiller that just wouldn't break. And it's moved on to a lot of different places.
Good hydraulics has changed the world for his equipment.
Right.
And we started seeing that in the 80s, especially that late 80s. And it went away from chains and sprockets to belts and pulleys. And it revolutionized the equipment world. And a lot of what we do with different types of equipment is with hydraulic cylinders and pumps and those things, which basically these days, if they're serviced, they're trouble-free.
Yeah.
And that might be a question that maybe a zero-turn customer needs to ask. Tell me about the pumps. Most customers today, I'm going back to lawnmowers, most customers today know deck size and engine horsepower.
Yeah.
But what we try to teach and show is let's talk about the pumps, the dry pumps, and making sure that we match up with the expectation you have versus the yard that you have with the equipment that we would recommend and what you can afford. So asking those questions regardless of the equipment and looking at hydraulics and you really need to measure what you're doing with the type of equipment that you're using. Okay, 3 things that kill equipment is heat, dirt, and lack of oil.
Yeah.
So those 3 things. So with anything, and regardless of the brand, regardless of the emblem that's on it, those 3 things are killers. So we can help you with that. Please call us, and we'll be glad to walk you through any type of. We sell some used equipment.
That we do
from time to time. So if you're looking for something, give us a call. We'd be glad to walk you through what you need.
Absolutely. And so what are some other pieces of rental equipment that you are really excited about, you really like? Or
I love skid steers. Some people call them bobcats, but we've through the years we've had different brands. Right now we're a mixture of bobcat and John Deere.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about the John Deere loaders we have right now. Very good. We use some Kubota.
Yes.
That's a fabulous piece of equipment. We use Bobcat, Kubota. We use trailer-wise. We use a couple of different brands of trailers. Down to Earth Trailer is a good quality trailer. The trailer market's changed a little bit over the years, but they're really good. We use Hustler makes some generators.
Yes.
And those are really good too.
Yes, they are.
With little Honda engines on them.
Yep.
And yellow and black, look great, run good.
We've also got the inverter generators, so that's the quiet one, 2200 watt.
Yep.
So we've got all of those things that we sell and rent. So
we do.
If you need a generator for a few days, we've got that, and if you want one to just keep at your place, we've got that as well. Back to the concrete equipment, we've got saws. We've got concrete cutoff saws, floor saws, 14-inch blade or an 18-inch blade, depending on how deep you're trying to go, are exactly what the purpose. And one of the new things we brought on is those dehumidifiers.
Dehumidifiers are fantastic. We've been renting dehumidifiers for years, and that market has really changed. And we're renting dehumidifiers and blowers to a lot of real estate companies. and they're either in the rental market or there may be a home that's being flipped or whatever that needs some that has maybe a mold issue or water issue, and they can rent these pieces of dehumidifiers and blowers that are on the commercial level much cheaper from us than they can bring in some of these restoration companies.
Right.
So, I want to remind all of our real estate friends to keep that in mind, to call us, and we can rent it to you by the day, week, month. We can rent you multiple units at one time for some pretty low rates. So, you might want to keep that in mind. RentRightEquipment.com.
.com.
That's right.
All your information is there. We've got a log splitter. That'll make you work, but it's better than splitting it with a maul.
That's it.
I've done that my share too. So that kind of stuff. What we want to do is make your life easier.
Sure.
Everybody's got work to do.
Yep.
And you see that here. We've all got a hard working mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to get up and go earn something.
That's right.
And so we want to help you to do that at the right price.
That's it.
It's not charging you an arm and a leg, but you're still able to get out and do some good work.
One of the things through the years we've been able to help people with, our community, is information, how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I believe you'll find with us when you call is when you I don't know how to do this project, and I would recommend calling and let us help you talk through different things. And we may have equipment for you, we may not. But oftentimes we've found that we've become an information center, and we'd love to help. And it's about those relationships through the years that we've been able to build. And when customers begin to trust us and we trust them, and we can partner with those created by those relationships on getting this work done. So it's been good. A lot of county buildings. Most jobs in the county of any size, they've had Rent Right equipment there through the years, and sometimes it's even been kind of like the unsung hero deal. It might be heaters in the middle of the night, or air compressors, or a water pump. We hadn't even talked about water pumps, but we've had some flood issues around, and I'd get the call from the street department or the water department in the middle of the night, and I need my pump's gone down. I need a pump. So we call it just being a friend. And when you can be a friend and make a living at it too, it works, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah, and we've got a bunch of different kind of pumps. We've got your more traditional sump pumps, and then we've got those in a 1-inch and a 2-inch, and then your trash pumps for moving a lot of water quickly.
That's right.
We carry all those, keep them in stock, and keep them all serviced up and ready to go when you need them.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Back to concrete, a lot of drills.
That we do.
That different size holes that's needed. One that comes to mind is called a core drill, and different size holes going through a wall, maybe a 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch hole that you might need. For example, we talked to a customer this week that was wanting to put a dryer vent through a concrete wall. How do I do that? Great question. Call the shop and let them explain to you about a concrete diamond tip drill bit, and we've got the drill for it too. So those are specialty items. You're really not gonna want to buy one of those for a one-time use. So give us a call, and we'll be able to walk you through those type projects.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got different length bits for those as well, because sometimes I've been talking with customers and they want to run some water or even electrical through the block for you to get under the house, right? And so you're going to need something that's long enough to go all the way through that block wall for your footer and your foundation, so that you can get through and get it back in. And so we've got a bunch of different sizes. You don't have to guess, and we can help with all sorts of those kind of things.
One of my favorites through the years has been post hole diggers. Now, I realize there's parts of our county and surrounding counties, the rock is a little different.
Yeah.
So, I can't say that our equipment digs rock, but we rent a lot of post hole diggers, gas powered, towable.
Mm-hmm.
Towable.
Yep. Made
And,
by Groundhog.
Groundhog, right? And fantastic equipment, and very easy to explain and use. It's a very rentable piece of equipment. Different size bits, I think from 6-inch, maybe 4-inch.
It's 4-inch.
All the way up through 12-inch.
Yep.
And then lengths, different lengths, 3 foot, 4 foot.
Yeah.
Hydraulic, again, they're hydraulic, and so that makes life really easy
Yes.
at affordable daily rate. Sure
Absolutely.
is.
The one-man post hole digger. A lot of people, I've had them come in and they're looking for one of the old two-man.
Yeah.
That you stand on each side of it. But this, we found it to be a whole lot easier to use. It's not going to jerk you around as much.
Right.
And it's just a whole lot more maneuverable. And because it's towable, you can pull the tongue out from underneath it.
Right.
And then just roll it around where you want
Yeah.
it. So you're
It's on wheels.
on wheels. So
Yeah.
you're not lugging it around everywhere either. So we look for those types of equipment that's going to make the job easier. And we also have those augers that go on our skid steers, from our
Sure.
mini skid to the full-size skid steer, so that if it's a bigger job than just a one-man, you can get out there and run it with a skid as
Sure.
well.
Yeah. Fantastic. A lot of people use the post hole diggers for fencing.
Yeah.
They're wanting to put up a nice privacy fence or some type of decorative fence on the front of their house, or light poles or whatever. So those are really, really nice pieces of equipment that we make available. You mentioned skid steer, and we have a smaller skid steer made by Vermeer, and also we have one that's made by Bobcat. There's a piece of equipment that goes on, there's an attachment that goes on that skid steer called a Harley rake.
Yep.
And that is one of the most fantastic pieces of equipment that we have. It'll prep a yard 4 foot wide. Your yard will look like a infield on a baseball diamond. When you're done, it's perfectly ready to seed.
Yep.
The holes are going to be filled in, the rocks are going to be moved to the side, and after that you would seed it and straw it or turf it, whatever you're going to do. Very, very affordable, and does a fantastic job. And I've told several customers through the years, if you want to be a hero, that's the piece of equipment to rent, because when you get done, it's going to look really good.
It will.
And it's fantastic. So, mini skid steer with a Harley rake attachment comes with a trailer.
Yep.
Again, it's made really easy. And back up to it, we'll show you how to run it. Diesel powered, Kubota diesel engines in these machines. Again, the hydraulics are fantastic. It's a real quiet type unit to run, real operator friendly. So good piece. You can make some money with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think about all this, Maddie?
It's a lot of information, but I've always, let me turn my mic on. I've always known that y'all carried a lot of equipment, because I can even remember coming to y'all's store as a little girl with my grandfather.
Right.
So, I mean, if we needed heaters for some reason, back in the day, I remember coming there when we had the big flood.
Right.
To get I don't know exactly what equipment we needed, but I remember renting equipment for people that needed it.
That's right.
And delivering it.
That's right.
So, I mean, I've been in and out of Brent Right all my life.
That's right.
So when I go in there, I know I'm family.
That's right.
They always welcome me.
Yeah.
Jimmy in, and they always give me a hug, and I love it. I always feel comfortable, and I know that they're always going to steer me the right way.
Yeah. It's not that type rental equipment business. It's not a Kroger. You're not in there every week. We want you in there every week, but it might be a once a month deal. We see customers that are doing projects once a week or once a month. So that's why it's important to be a community friend with an information center. We work closely with lumber yards, with plumbers. They have my cell phone number. They know who we are. Sometimes you're the last stop on headed toward the job. So that's why it's so important to know where equipment is, where the small contractors and homeowners and farmers can grab equipment, get their projects done, and get that off their radar as quickly as possible. So sometimes, when you have these 911 situations, we need to be considered as the first go-to on some of this equipment. So that's who we are. That's what we want to be, and we make ourselves available for that. And 45, 46 years of it. We've been at every part of the county and seen a lot of different situations, and we will continue on. Pressure washers are big.
Yeah.
Yep. Tyler sells a few pressure washers along the way.
I know that I've rented a pressure washer from y'all before.
I mean, they're really helpful. You need them all the time.
Well, I mean, my house is not that big. So I remember a few years ago I needed one. So I rented one because I don't have like a lot of concrete, but it needed to be cleaned. So like for me, I couldn't justify buying one to keep all the time. So I just rented one.
That's it.
And it's
Yep.
convenient.
It's very
And I don't
convenient.
have to store it. I don't have to do the maintenance on it
Right.
because I'm a woman.
Yep.
And I just rented it and I can bring it back.
Yep. And we actually cater to women. And
I know y'all catered to me before.
well, you're special. But the show and tell and teaching, we spend a lot of time with that. Is making sure people are comfortable with what they're using. We want them to be safe, and also safe and satisfied when they come back. So we want to make you the hero. And
Well, let's talk about this. So you were not at Rent Right yet, but do you remember when I came to you about my plumbing issue at my house like 3 years ago? And I was like, look, is this something that I can hire a friend to do instead of doing this? So Bill literally walked me step by step through what I had going on. And he was like, look, you need to hire somebody for what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was like, I'm going to use the equipment. If you tell me, I'll rent it from you, whatever. But he guided me step by step through what I needed to do. And then once I gave him all the information, he was like, a gas line ended up being right beside my plumbing where it needed to go. And he was like, yeah, you need to hire somebody. So, I mean, there I was. I could have rented equipment from him and had somebody doing it, but for the safety of my neighbors and everything else, he was like, yeah, there's a gas line right there. You don't need to do that.
yeah.
And that's one thing is we do have people that we know and trust that do that kind of work.
Sure.
Yes.
They're in the shop. They come in all the time.
Yeah.
And if you need something done, you need a project, we know some people
Yes.
that can do it and can help you.
Yeah, we'll be glad to work closely with them, and we see a lot of that. A lot of plumbers, a lot of carpenters are in and out every day. A lot of business cards laying around if you need suggestions. So yeah, it's pretty active place. One of the things we started 20, maybe 30 years ago that it's a very well kept secret that we do. We're a FedEx center. We do FedEx. You have a FedEx drop-off location in Lawrenceburg, and we create labels. We ship ground shipment. We ship overnight shipment. We create those labels, put it on the package. The trucks pick up at our place every day, 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, I believe.
So they can't pick up before 2.
Okay.
So they have a window in between our between 2 and when we close. We're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4. You can bring a packages in any time, but you want to get there before 2 p.m. if you need it to go out the same day.
Yeah.
But we can make any kind of express labels and get them to
Yeah.
where they need to go.
Yeah. You don't have to wait till 3 o'clock to drop things off, right? You can start at
Yeah.
7:30.
That's it.
Drop it off. If you don't have a label, we can create those for you.
And we have boxes. I've got some boxes that are provided by FedEx, the envelopes, and I've also got other boxes that we can sell to you at a really reasonable price for oddly shaped things. So we really want to take care of you in all those aspects for getting your packages from point A to point B.
One of the cool things that we do too is we'll show you how to track that package. If you want to, keep that tracking number, which we'll give you when you ship with us, and then we'll show you how to go to, is it FedEx.com?
You can go to FedEx.com, but the funny thing with that is if you just put that number in Google, it will pull up FedEx immediately.
Well, you taught me something. That's great.
It will pull it up and it'll take you to it, and you can see where it's at, and you can start tracking your package from as soon as they scan it and pick it up. So whatever day you drop it off, you can start tracking it and seeing where it's at that same day.
That's right. I want to go back around to mowers just for a moment. Hustler mowers, hustlerturf.com, right? And you click on Lawrence County, Tennessee, or Lawrenceburg, we're going to pop up. You can find us through our website, rentrightequipment.com. One of the things that I've learned about Hustler, not only do they provide good products, but also we're going to give you opportunity to for customers that need it to pay for that equipment by the month. Okay, we partner with a finance lender called Sheffield Financial, and also local banks here, the credit union, the different banks here will work with you on getting set up on monthly payments for that. Now, your credit's got to be approved, right? It's not a cash and carry deal, but it's with approved credit we can work with you on that. Credit scores can be moderate, and we can still get you approved. So we make that really, really easy for you. With rental equipment on used mowers, I think we can finance those now.
Right.
On occasion, we can finance some used rental equipment if there's something you're looking for. And of course, on the new Hustler mowers, we can finance all of those, right?
Right, and they're still running programs for 0% for 48 months, 0% 42, all of those different options, depending on how long you want that term to be. We can work with all of that, and they do provide that 0% interest for approved credit.
Back to trailers.
Trailers.
Okay, something that we do rent, again, it's overlooked a little bit, is a dump trailer. People want to haul brush, they want to haul rock, they've got projects around the place that they need to move some things. We rent those 2-axle dump trailers, moderately priced, again, by the day or week. You can rent it instead of spending several $1,000s on purchase price. You can rent one for a few days, and as Maddie said, you don't have to have it sitting in your yard all year and sitting around. So I wanted to throw that in there for some chat.
Absolutely. And another thing to look forward to now is we're going to be getting into the mowing season. Spring is going to come along. Your mowers have been sitting, been overwintered, and so you're going to want to go over it and look and make sure it's serviced, make sure your blades are sharp, you've got new blades, check your pulleys, make sure that it's starting, right? You always, during the winter, you want to start your mower and let it run for a few minutes every week, a few times a month, just to make sure that everything is running properly, because nothing likes to sit. If you let something sit too long, it'll go downhill.
Now, you offer some packages, some maintenance packages.
That we do.
Some what are those? I don't remember what those are.
So we've got our service, our two different services. We've got the Econo service, which is just your regular oil change, oil filter, and we check. We have a checklist of everything we go down every time you bring in your mower. We check the belts, we check the pulleys, we go through an entire checklist, and then we've got our NASCAR service, which is like it sounds like. We go through everything.
Right.
We go through every bit of it. We change your oil filter, air filter, fuel filter, spark plugs, change your oil, go through all of it, check your blades to see if it's time for new ones or if you can still go with getting them sharpened. And right now, through the end of this month, through the end of February, if you come in and bring in your mower for a service, you have $20 off.
$20 off.
$20 off for this month.
Yeah, we do pick up and deliver.
That we do.
Yeah. How's that work?
So if you're within 8 miles of our store, it's $40 each way. If it's above that, it's $4.50 a mile.
Okay, so it's fair. It's reasonable. Turnaround time's a couple of days.
Usually.
or maybe less. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right now we're not really covered up. That varies. You get into the summer and you've got 20 mowers waiting. So we get through those within a few days, and we really work to make sure that we're caught up.
Some people, our name of our store is Rent Right Equipment. Rent Right Equipment. Sometimes that throws them off, understanding that we do sell outdoor power equipment.
Right.
And we sell a product that we picked up last year called Cress.
Cress.
And very excited about that line. It's a battery line, handheld line. They've also got some really cool mowers that just hit the market that we're going to talk about in a minute. But tell me about Cress. You the Cress expert.
Well, Cress was originally out of Germany, and so most places they go into making their tool work first, right? You've got all the big name companies, but the Cress went straight for their battery.
Okay.
Their claim to fame is their battery life. The residential line that we carry will recharge in about 15 to 20 minutes, which is kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
As far as if you've got 2 batteries, you don't have any downtime.
Right.
Which has always been what you hear is the problem with battery powered
Right.
is how long am I going to have to wait till it charges? That's
Yeah.
the great thing about gas. When it runs out of gas, I'll just fill it back up and go.
Yeah.
But when you've got 2 and you never have any downtime, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about mixing gas and making sure it doesn't sit too long and get water in it. You just pull the trigger. And so we've got weed eaters, chainsaws, what else we got? Blowers. That was it. And so we have all of those, the batteries, the kits to get you everything that you need to get cutting and blowing some things around.
Fantastic looking equipment.
Yeah.
We've got it displayed really nice in the front of the store. Want to invite everybody to come by. And again, we've got it on our website, advertisement, Cress Industries, rentrightequipment.com, right there on the front. So they've come out with a mower. They've got an electric self-propelled push mower.
Yep.
I'm going to have one of those this year.
Yep.
And then also there's another one that's very unique. You want to talk about that?
It's the robot mower.
Robot.
So the biggest way you can think about it is you've got a lot of people have that robot vacuum, goes through your house and cleans up.
Yeah, what are those called? Roombas? Yeah, whatever. so we have something like that in a mower.
Right. So basically, what you do is it runs off 4G, just like your cell phone.
Really?
It does. And so what we do is we come out there and it basically looks like a wheel tape. And we walk around and we map your entire area, map around trees or shrubs that you don't want it you want it to go around those. You get it out there and you get it set up and you put it in. You can put an app on your phone and you run it straight
So it
from
is
there.
like a Roomba.
It's exactly. It's got a charging port that when its battery gets low, it's going to go back to the house, and it'll cut and it cuts straight lines. It's not like the Roomba in that it just goes wherever. It has a purpose. It knows where it's going. If there's sticks or falling debris, it'll go around them. If it starts raining, it'll go back to the house.
Yeah.
And it is made to, and you can cut at night. It's so quiet because you don't have to worry about it, and it looks like your grass never gets cut. It's always perfect.
Yeah.
You never see somebody out there. Always keeps it maintained and lush.
It's new. It's new, and the reason we went ahead and tackled that's going to be your mower in the next 10 years. I'm going to tell you what I see for as mowing. Saturday, 20, 30, 40 years ago, Saturday was your yard day and your barn cleaning day. Well, nowadays it's soccer day, or
softball, or basketball, or football,
or go to the river day. Okay, very few people mow on Saturday anymore. They mow during the week. So what we see in the future is a mower that you're not going to have to mow. All right. So right now we're going to sell you a 0-turn mower that you're going to sit on and mow. But for the ones that have the pristine yards and they're not interested in mowing, and they don't want to pay somebody to mow, they're going to be buying these units. So we think it's cutting edge. We think it's going to be in the next 10 years 5 to 10 years, that these things will really take off.
Yeah.
We're already seeing them in larger cities and urban areas, but understanding that we might be behind just a little bit, but not too far, of having these mowers available. They are available now,
They are.
but also with the battery-powered equipment, you're right on the edge with the German products. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're really fun to use, and you'd be surprised how much power they have for being a battery-operated tool. So we've got the residential line. Whenever they were bringing the stuff by, he brought out his commercial backpack blower, and that thing will blow you away. It's got a big battery pack that sits on your back, and you can go crazy, and it's just mind-blowing.
For our commercial cutters, I'd really like to invite you to come by, and we offer some demo units, and put one on your trailer and let you try these units, blowers, trimmers, maybe a chainsaw, and just come by and check them out. And we've got some deals for commercial folks that are commercial cutters. So just come by, remember Chris, and just come by Rent Right and let us show you what we offer. And I'd love to talk to you about those things.
There's one thing I want us to talk about before we sign off.
Sure.
How'd you find Tyler? Give me some information about Tyler, because he's going to be the one that's hosting the show. We need to get to know him a little bit.
Tyler is phenomenal. I know Tyler from when he was a tyke and through Cowboy Church. And we watched Tyler grow up. And Tyler is a fine young man, very honest, speaks well. He's honest, comes from a fantastic
He's got
family.
a radio voice.
He's got a radio voice. Tyler actually can sing better than he looks. So
That's not hard to do, though.
He's a fantastic singer. He promotes our family well, Jim Ann and I really well. I don't think you'll find a better person to do business with and to follow as a leader. So he wasn't hard to find. He stands out in the crowd. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you enjoy working at Rent Right?
I love it.
It's like family, isn't it?
Yeah, I love my job.
You do?
I do. I don't know. Monday's my favorite day of the week. Everybody talks about, oh, it's Monday. I'm like, come on.
But when you find happiness in a job, it makes it so much better.
sure.
And I do have to say this, and this is not just me saying this, but every time that I see Tyler, he is always happy.
He's that way.
I mean, he walked in today and he's like, all right, I'm ready to record.
That's right.
Let's get these commercials
That's
rolling. I'm ready to start.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
we're going to enjoy having y'all on Tuesdays.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
I love
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, yeah. We appreciate you and WLX.
Well, we
what you do.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
If
Really
there's
do.
any closing words.
Come on down to Rent Right at 721 Buffalo Road. We can help you out.
All right. Bye, guys.
5 pass attempts in a game. He's 4-0. He only threw 4 pass attempts before the last